while we're talking about construction work in progress, one of our partners is the Associated Electric Co-ops, and that's how they do business. And the reason they do it that way, they sometimes even, if they're going to build a new plant or build infrastructure, sometimes they even charge their customers money before they start. And the reason they do that is to keep the interest accumulation low, and overall that saves their customers money. So when we think about construction work in progress as something that only Ameren is asking for, that's not factual, because Associated Electric, that is their method of doing business. That's their normal business, and they do it in order to keep their rates lower.
You know, if you look back at Callaway Unit 1, $3.1 billion total cost, 1.3 of it was financing costs because of the CWIP rules. So, you know, the customers are paying for that today when they wouldn't have had to if we would have been able to charge as we built. If you look at the states now, such as Georgia and South Carolina, which both have nuclear projects in the pre-construction stages, you know, they have gotten past CWIP from a perspective of the reached agreement with their states to this was the most cost-effective way to build a plant, and they're a pay-as-you-go versus put it on a credit card for 6 years and then pay the interest.
Yeah, and you know, in that vein, I do understand the potential downside, where people look at it and say, well, we're just giving the utility a blank check and they're going to run amok with our money. So from that perspective, I think that we also need to have the right accountabilities around that, and we need to be held accountable to prudently spend what we say we're going to spend and make sure that we're doing the right thing for the customers. There's definitely more than one way to finance a plant, but to me, the most straightforward way is to remove the construction work in progress limitations on us and go from there. That's certainly not the only way, but that is the most straightforward way. If that's not part of the plan going forward, I think it'd be very hard to figure out how to finance a big project like that. Callaway is 26 years old, and we're one of the newer nuclear plants in the country. So we've had a pretty good void now of construction in the nuclear industry. We've also seen it though in the coal industry, and as well as, you know, refurbing our infrastructure. So it's something that we can't postpone forever, because eventually some group is going to have to deal with it. And you know, for us, shame on us if we leave that to our children and grandchildren. We have to lay the foundation and start moving, and so it's a manageable issue going forward, and it doesn't turn into a catastrophe years down the road.
The last plant, when we went online back in '84, if you looked the previous 10 years to that, you had a huge demand growth in electricity. You know, it was probably 12% at times. Back in that time frame, people were buying air conditioners. You know, the U.S. was turning into an air-conditioned, and so you had low growth of 10 to 12% every year. And in 1982, that demand growth went to zero. We had a recession, and we just built a whole bunch of plants. If you look at some of the information in there of our plant build out, you'll see a whole bunch of fossil units built in the late 60s through the early 70s along with the Callaway plant. So we built a lot of power plants, and we were able to actually just, based on that build out, to run for almost 20 plus years without building any new plants. Now we've tweaked those plants. We've made efficiency upgrades. We did an upgrade here at the station just with new, you guys saw the turbine up there. We put all new high performance turbine rotors in there and picked up 55 megawatts just on efficiency. No additional fuel burn, just efficiency. We've done that through most of our fossil fleet as well. And so has the rest of the country that's made those type of upgrades. So kind of squeezing more energy out of the existing infrastructure. But we're to the point now where that's just no longer an option.